lot of people are talking about longevity these days, aren't they? Everywhere you turn, there's a breakthrough. Biohacking is common language now. People talk about IV drips. They certainly are in the gym that I go to. Then there's stem cell treatments, cold plunges, hyperbaric chamber. I do actually do a hyperbaric every day, but a whole range of supplements as well that promise to slow down aging. And, I am all for innovation, obviously. I do believe in the science, and I certainly believe in interventions such as hyperbaric, as I said, and cryotherapy. But what no one talks about is the fact that, longevity doesn't start with cutting edge treatments. I was talking to a nutritionist today and I was asking her about castor oil because there's so much about it online. And she said to me, look, you're one of the very few people that I would suggest to do it because you do everything else. And I think that's the point, is that these things are just the cherry on top, really. They'll give you a little edge, but if your foundation isn't right, then none of it is going to make a difference. And I know that sounds really, really boring. But today I wanted, therefore, to help you to take a different perspective on longevity. It's one that I've been talking about since 2018, when I very first launched something called the Limitless Manifesto in the House of Commons. And it was there that I spoke about, if this nation wants to grow, then we ought to be looking at our midlife professionals and our midlifers and not just young people, because longevity was on its way. But I meant longevity in its true sense, which is longevity in body, but also longevity in mind, and also longevity in business as well. Because if you're going to be around for a long time, you want financial freedom still to do the things that you want. So I'm going to break it down a little bit in this video. What are the basics and the non-negotiables for longevity to help you take a more holistic approach and not sort of bet on something like castor oil? Hopefully not that you would. But most people do start with biohacking instead of starting with the basics, because the basics are really a bit boring, but they can be truly, truly empowering and become second nature. Come on up, you get a little doggy wants to get up here. Come on then. So let's go on to what really, really works. So first of all, the real foundation is the body. We need this taxi, this vehicle to ferry us about. So we have to start with the body, I think. And people may say the mindset. I'm going to come on to mindset in a minute. But the very first thing that I would say, and the number one predictor of longevity now, is known to be muscle mass. So if you want to stay strong, mobile, energetic as you age, then you have to be lifting weights. And I discovered this when I was 54. I'm 62 now, but I discovered at the age of 54, one, that it's never too late to start to build muscle, and it can give you back your youthful body in every aspect, and you can feel incredibly empowered and strong and able to sort of do everything else that life throws at you. So strength training is a must. And the next thing is nutrition. Instead of following every diet trend, focus on just high quality protein to help build that muscle, and to keep inflammation down, to keep disease at bay. Then what you want to be doing is really having whole foods, good carbs, not refined carbs, nothing out of a box, basically, lots of vegetables, water, everything like that. And then moving your body, just, doing steps, or if you like spin, do spin. I mean, Pilates, do Pilates. I wouldn't denigrate any form of exercise, but it's all part of a bigger picture. I personally have started doing a lot more spin, yoga, Pilates, as well as weightlifting, even though weightlifting is my sort of love. So having a really, really active lifestyle, just move, don't sit on the sofa the whole time. And that is also going to really help you manage stress, because chronic stress is one of the biggest aging accelerators and one of the biggest killers. So it's only after you've mastered these basics that you can then start layering on advanced longevity strategies like your castor oils and all that, and that'll be subject to another video. But I wanted to talk about the second pillar of longevity as I see it, which is your mindset. And I think this is where a lot of people go wrong, because longevity isn't just about the body. It's not. It's actually about your mindset and what you believe, because what you believe actually does shape your biology in the end. So how do you cultivate what I call a longevity mindset? Well, firstly, you have to believe in possibility. If you expect to go downhill, if you expect to decline, if you're thinking about retiring, as we would retire an old horse, let's say, or an old machine, then that's what's going to happen. So you have to expect to have a long life in order to have one, I believe. And then surround yourself with other people. You know, you've heard that thing about the 5 people you spend time with, maybe not now in this world of Zoom, but definitely the people that you listen to. So surrounding yourself with a network of people who believe similar things, and keep learning and keep, you know, challenging yourself, because the brain thrives on new experiences. And also, I would say let go of past regrets, you know, let go of what could have been, should have been, etc. And believe that you've got your whole life still ahead of you, because you have. You know, yesterday's gone, but the future is all ahead of you. So that's a little bit on mindset. Again, the subject of a future video. And then the third part of it is, you know, the whole longevity of business. The future is changing. You know, if you've got a strong body and a strong mind, now great, you're going to be around for a long time, but how are you going to pay for that? How are you going to sustain that livelihood? Particularly, as I said, that business is changing. You know, the same skills that are needed now won't be needed in the future. Obviously, a lot of entrepreneurs are ignoring that, I think, you know, burying their sand and thinking, well, I'll be retired by the time it finishes. But if you can stay alive for a much longer time, you do need to start to tackle this head on. Those skills that kept you successful years and years ago won't keep you successful in the next 5 to 10 years. So you've got to be adapting to things like AI, automation, all the digital business models. And if you're not, you're going to fall behind and start to not have, you know, the income that you really need to continue this life. So longevity in business is about adapting to change. It's about trying to stay ahead of trends. And you don't have to stay that far ahead to know more than most people. To start looking at various different multiple revenue streams. And you can do that more and more now in this age of technology. And, you know, we've talked a lot about entrepreneurship before and side hustles and things like that. So, and again, a subject of another video. But if you're still running your business the old way, I would really, really urge you to start thinking about now what you can start to do in the future. So if you take one thing from this video, and it's only a short video, just to introduce this whole concept of longevity, holistic longevity, then I would say, you know, there's a number of things just to start thinking about and actioning. The first is prioritizing strength. Strength is your best defense against aging. You know, even if it's like normal accidents and illnesses, if you are strong through prioritizing muscle and movement, then you're going to be able to withstand a lot of those things. The second is mastering your mindset. If you expect to decline, like I said, you will. If you expect to grow, the odds are that you will. You know, as Tony Robbins talks about, where focus goes, energy flows. And then building this community, this longevity focused community around you for people that think like you and don't poo-poo your ideas. And then fourthly, thinking about financial longevity, adapting to the future of AI and automation and what's you know, coming up for us all. And finally, staying curious, you know, never stop learning, have this thirst for learning. Doesn't matter even if you're not going to use these things in your business, but have a thirst for learning. That's it from me today on holistic longevity. I'm going to go into all of these in a lot more detail in future videos. So if you are interested in longevity, and so far you've just heard it's about, you know, new supplements and hot and cold therapy and all that. Well, it isn't, as hopefully I've outlined. And so if you would like me to talk a bit more about longevity in any particular aspects of it, then drop me a comment. And if you really are serious about building this sort of limitless life, then you can subscribe. And I'm not particularly chasing subscribers, to be honest with you, but I want to know that the stuff that I'm producing for you is of interest and making an impact. Over the last 8 years, I've developed my own really powerful strategies for longevity. People tell me very kindly that I look younger than my age, but I think, and that's lovely, but the fact is that I feel super strong. I'm in the gym every day with people that are in their 20s and 30s and probably train harder than most of them and, you know, are stronger than most of them, although it's not competition, sort of is. But it's not just about that. It's about, you know, being curious, finding out new things, making new friends, you know, and just taking from life everything that there is to offer. And that is the true beauty of longevity. So I'm going to teach you all about that on this channel. So if you want to know more, like I say, then press the notifications, the subscriptions, leave me a comment, and I'll look forward to talking to you, dispelling some of the fads and really helping you to focus on the right things that bring longevity to you. Thanks very much.